I said that I think in the next 12 weeks that I'll be able to buy Bitcoin on a retracement. Now, there's a lot of reasons that you'd have a retracement. 30% retraction isn't obscene. It is a volatile asset class, far more volatile than gold.
Hey guys, welcome back to Everyday Finance. In this video, Gary Cardone discusses about Bitcoin and gold, according to Gary Cardone. If we examine gold and its subsequent events, we may see that gold ETF November 4th, and gold was at $438 in November 2004. That price increase to November 2011 had a 7-year increase to $1750 on the ETF. So it's funny that no one talks about that. It was a 5-fold rise over 7 years prior to the ETF. There was a $100 run-up, so gold was sitting at $300 and climbed to before the ETF was approved. The annual cost was $400. This represents a current 25% increase. You take a look at it and say, well, that wasn't a lot of money, but Gary Cardone thinks gold, meaning you adhere to this marketplace someone whom we actually know is purposefully suppressing the price of gold. It will be exceedingly challenging to do that because people have already paid fines for it. You can conjecture it to be physical Bitcoin rather than paper Bitcoin, offer a derivative, and lots of things Gary Cardone discuss. So please watch the video to end and share this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance. Thanks.
I think by January the 8th, we're going to either have approval or we're going to know through particular behaviors and price that we have approval. So, and then within 2 weeks, this is what I did not really fully understand, but within 2 weeks, we could have an ETF actually trading, which is pretty phenomenal. If we look at gold and what happened to gold got the ETF November 04. I think gold was at, I made some notes last night, $438 November 2004. And that price went to November in 2011, went to $1750 in 7 years on the ETF. So that was a 5x increase over 7 years. The funny thing is nobody talks about, there was $100 of run up before the ETF. So gold was sitting at 300, moved to $400 a year before the ETF was approved. That's a 25% increase, right? Now you look at it and go, well, that wasn't very much money, but yeah, well, I think gold, I mean, you follow this market. I think gold is artificially suppressed by someone. In fact, we know people have paid fines for it. So that's going to be very difficult to do to Bitcoin. Physical Bitcoin, not paper Bitcoin. You'll be able to hypothecate it, provide derivatives. And I believe that's true. Some of those tools are really healthy for the market. It's going to happen. But if you're talking about grabbing 3 million units of Bitcoin, I mean, let's just do the math. 400,000 super wealthy people on this planet. Over $50 million in net worth. These are families worth liquid $50 million of capital. Just make an assessment what these 400,000 people do. You've known some really rich people. Have you ever known a super rich person that couldn't buy anything he wanted to? Like this really drives the Jeff Bezos of the world crazy, okay? Oh, I can't own that? Well, if you tell somebody they can't own it, they need to own it then, right? There's only 21 million of these units. I mean, I've got probably more than I deserve. And it's going to be very difficult for these people to pry this product out of my hand. It will only happen through price. And we have seen, this is a really weird product, okay? Because you just saw a shakedown of about 76% off the top. And if you go talk to the Wall Street guys, when you're in a perfect position to do this, say, hey, what's the weirdest thing about Bitcoin? They'll tell you, okay, over a glass of wine, dude, nobody sells this stuff. The price can get washed out 70, 80%. And these people are like, oh shit, isn't this awesome? I get to buy some more. Which, Like, I'm predicting I'm going to be able to buy $30,000 Bitcoin in the next 12 weeks. I can't wait. I can't wait for it. I cannot wait for a retracement.
Gary Cardone anticipates being able to purchase within the next 12 weeks. Bitcoin is currently retracing for a number of reasons. Thus, 30% of the retraction isn't outrageous. It is a significantly more erratic asset class, more volatile than gold. That's correct. But it also outperforms gold, regardless of what Peter may want to say. Just look at the charts. It's really embarrassing for gold. Embarrassingly, Bitcoin outperforms gold in terms of performance. Let's back to the Gary Cardone interview.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I said that I think in the next 12 weeks that I'll be able to buy Bitcoin on a retracement. Now, there's a lot of reasons that you'd have a retracement. 30% retraction isn't obscene. It is a volatile asset class, far more volatile than gold.
Absolutely.
Right? So, I mean, far more volatile, but it's also outpaced gold by, I mean, just look at the charts. It's pretty embarrassing for gold. I think the way I answer this question is, if an ETF on January the 8th, if the SEC comes out and says no approvals whatsoever, we're not doing this, Bitcoin will get crushed. Bitcoin will get crushed by at least, you'll be able to buy Bitcoin at $27,000 if that were to happen. So that tells me you have $15,000 built into the price for the ETF. If it would go down on that news, then you clearly have some part of this $44,000 is cooked in as part of the ETF. I cannot even imagine that some premium hasn't been paid for that. But I think there's a lot of things that can drive events like this. But you know, it's pretty bulletproof. I mean, my God, man, they removed Stiller from Grayscale 2 days ago. I mean, they're cleaning house, man. The U.S. government was able to cut a deal with the Chinese for Binance to have the CEO come to the United States when he didn't have to. What did they have on him? I mean, what was that phone call like? Was it, you will be tracked for the rest of your life by Interpol? Or your banking will be so difficult, it will be impossible for you to do business? I don't know what that phone call was, but I've never seen a non-U.S. citizen voluntarily show up in the United States, sit in a jail cell, and wait his day in court. Not even court, and it happened in 7 days. So I think it actually shows more weakness against the U.S. government than it does Binance, but it just shows you the control that the financial system has. If I go back to the 400,000 people who are super wealthy, and I think only 20% of those people have actually deployed any money whatsoever, and I multiply that 400,000 families times $2.5 million of Bitcoin allocation, it is staggering, okay, how much Bitcoin would be required for that. And so I'm a pure supply and demand guy. I mean, I'm so fundamental, it's scary. And when I see supply and demand metrics like this, I'm an all-in guy. Like, that's why I say I think I'm grossly underallocated, because I do not think there is anything the U.S. government can do to stop Bitcoin. Nothing. I would love them to say no on January the 8th, because it would allow me to have a new buying opportunity at $20,000. And the U.S. government will miss out on one of the greatest opportunities that it's ever had to actually maintain another 40 or 50 years of its control over the world. So I just have never seen an opportunity like this. And I keep asking myself, how am I wrong? And I can't come up with an answer.
Bitcoin will be destroyed, even though Bitcoin will crash. At least you'll be able to purchase Bitcoin for $27,000 if that were to occur, which indicates to me that you have, if the ETF's price dropped as a result of that news, $155,000 would be incorporated into the price. So it's evident that a portion of this $44,000 is included in the ETF. Gary Cardone cannot even begin to conceive that there isn't a premium for that. It demonstrates greater weakness toward the US government than it does balance, but it merely highlights that the banking system's power. If go back to the 400,000 individuals who are extremely wealthy, yet only 20% of them have really used any money at all. That is astounding when you multiply 400,000 families by the $25 million Bitcoin allocation. If you learned something from this video, then please like this video and subscribe our channel Everyday Finance, and we will meet in next video. Thanks.